What's up, Sooner fans? Just halftime of the OSU Baylor game. I thought, now would probably be a pretty good time to, even though we don't have a game, I only match on game day. That's why I don't match today. But I thought today is basically game day for our head coaching search. Based on things that Bob Stoops has said, kind of some reports out, it's looking like OU could name the next head coach either today, which it's, already in the afternoon, so I highly doubt it's going to be today, tomorrow, or Monday. Kind of what I think is going to happen is, I think tomorrow you will start getting notifications, reports, I'm seeing it on Twitter, social media, of who our next guy is going to be. And then they will have an official presser on Monday. That's kind of what I think is going to happen from everything I've read from, which, not that I'm in the know, because I'm not, but from everything that I've kind of been reading, that seems to be the way we're going to go. So I thought I would hop on here, considering we're 24 to 36 hours away from knowing who our new head coach is going to be, just to kind of predict who I think it's going to be. I know the last video I made, I told you I thought my gut was saying it was going to be Matt Rhule, and that has been disproved, I guess. There's been some reports come out saying he is not interested at this time, so which I'm thankful for. I was not a big fan of the Matt Rhule hire. So anyways, Dave Aranda was a name that I think we would all have been kind of indifferent about, maybe pretty excited. I don't know. I would have been a little indifferent, but he's currently up big on OSU at halftime, so I don't think he's going to leave Baylor. Could be wrong, but it's looking like they're going to win today, and then they're not going to, he's not going to be looking for a new job. So unless he pulls a Lincoln Riley, he could pull a stinking Lincoln and, leave, and that would be that. But I don't see Dave Aranda going. So really it comes down to really three scenarios. And hold on, there's a car coming. To me, there's three scenarios of how this is going to go. Dan Lanning, the defensive coordinator from Georgia, scenario one. Scenario two is Brent Venables as a head coach from Clemson, previous OU DC. And then the third scenario, I kind of feel kind of stupid for even bringing this up, but Dabo Swinney and Brent Venables coming to Oklahoma. And I'll just talk a little bit about each one. Dan Lanning, I don't know. I don't know enough about him. I've done some research. I just don't know. I don't think anybody knows. The similarities between him and Bob Stoops are situations, both defensive coordinators, when Bob Stoops was hired on, both young and both coming off. Bob Stoops was coming off a national championship. Dan Lanning's looking like he's going to come off a national championship. So the similarities are there. There's a lot of people high on him. I'm not one of those people. I'm not saying he would be a bad coach, but you're going back to a 35-year-old, 39-year-old, 33-year-old, however old he is. He's in his 30s. He's young. I think defensive-wise, I think he'd be a great coach. What I want to know is, how can he fill out a staff? Is he going to be able to get, awesome, really solid coordinators and coaches? Is he going to be able to figure out what kind of offense is he going to want to run? What kind of, defensive coordinators is he going to want to get? Those are the questions. How's he going to be able to recruit in Oklahoma? Those are the questions. I just don't know enough about him. I get nervous with this idea of getting Alabama and Georgia coordinators, because although several coordinators have worked out, Mario Cristobal seems to be okay. Kirby Smith is really good. you know, you can go down the list of Alabama's coordinators, but you've also had some busts, Jeremy Pruitt. And so I get nervous getting coordinators from schools that are really good because they all have good head coaches. And you don't know if the reason they're good is because of their coordinators or because of their coaches, you know. And Alabama seems to reload, you know, so I'd be really nervous. There's not very many Kirby Smiths walking around, I don't think, at Alabama. But anyways, so I get nervous with the Dan Lanning. I don't know if he's calling plays. I don't know if he's recruiting those guys on defense. He's been there 3 years. They've had good defense all 3 years. This year, probably the best defense maybe ever. Definitely the best defense I've seen personally. I'm only 24, so I haven't been that long, but I don't know if it's him. I don't know if it's Kirby Smith. That makes me nervous. Then we go to scenario 2, Brent Venables. That's my dream pick. I think you get him and you get, you know, a Jeff Levy or a offensive coordinator that knows what he's doing and is well known and players want to play for him. I think you got a good chance of keeping Caleb Williams, and I think you got a good chance of salvaging the next 2 recruiting classes. Not saying we're going to have top 10 classes, but heck, at this point, if you could stay in top 20, I'd be pretty happy for the next 2. But, you know, you get someone like him that knows what he's doing, knows how to play against SEC defenses. And then, you know, Brent Venables he'll be able to pick a good D coordinator, I feel like. That's kind of a dream scenario. There's a lot of people saying that if he was the guy, that it would already happen by now. And there's some validity to that. He's not playing in a championship game. You know, their next game is a bowl game, and that's going to be end of this month. So why has he not been hired yet if he's the guy? I don't know. And then the third scenario, kind of the third thing being thrown out there is Dabo Swinney and Brent Venables both coming. There's a lot of where this comes from. There's a lot of things going on at Clemson right now. Their AD is possibly leaving. It's not confirmed yet. It was confirmed, then it was deconfirmed, then confirmed, not deconfirmed. So no one knows. I still bet their AD leaves. They've had some players hit the portal. Clemson hadn't had a good year. So there's some things that you can kind of see maybe Dabo is wanting to start fresh somewhere. I don't buy into it much. I would love that. I'm a big Dabo Swinney fan. I don't think he's that great of an X's and O's coach. I think he's a great leader, motivator, and role model for the kids or for the players. And I've always thought that. I've always been a big fan. I know a lot of people think he's annoying and you know, kind of cheesy, maybe kind of like a younger Ed Orgeron. I just think he's a good motivator and leader, and he kind of runs his program kind of like as a CEO, where he's not maybe necessarily making you know, the offensive and defensive, you know, X's and O's, but you know, he's saying this is how we need to play, this is what we need to do, you know, and great recruiter. So yeah, I'd love to have Dabo. I don't think he's coming, and if he does come, he's got to bring Brent with him, because I'm telling you, Brent is a big part of his success, a big part, probably bigger than we ever thought. But so I would love that. I don't think that's happening. I'm not buying into that. So my prediction is Dan Lanning from Georgia. And I've already given my thoughts on it, but that just seems to be the guy that he's still playing, they're still coaching. So that's why they hadn't announced it yet. You know, so if we've waited this long, it kind of tells me that there's a reason we're waiting this long. And really, there's no better reason than, well, he's still got to coach a game. So that's who I think it's going to be, just from everything I've read, everything I've seen. Joe Castiglione, the AD at OU, he likes those hires that really no one saw coming. You know, he likes those guys that aren't super popular yet, those guys that maybe haven't proven themselves yet. And so I think that he's going to be another guy. He's got a lot of similarities to Bob Stoops, and I think that's what Joe is seeing with him. Now, again, I would kind of be indifferent about it. It'd be hard for me to get really excited. We're going, as OU fans, we're about to enter the kind of the dark period of the season, or because there is no season. And it would be nice to have a big splash, something to get excited about for the off season and spring game. But Dan Lanning, nothing against him. Again, he could be phenomenal. He could be a really great coach. I just don't know. But I think if we were to get him, for me, it would just be, I just wouldn't be as excited going into the off season as I would be with Brent or Dabo. Even though that's kind of crazy, but I don't think Matt Rhule's coming. I don't think Matt Campbell is coming. I don't think we're going after Dave. I think we probably interview Dave Aranda. I don't think he's leaving yet. Trying to think. I don't think Shane Beamer would leave. I don't think Josh Heupel's going to leave. I wouldn't even want Josh Heupel if I were picking. Mike Leach, I don't think. Actually, I think he'd probably leave, but I don't think I'd hire him. So it kind of narrows down where you're really only left with a couple guys and a couple scenarios. But look, the announcement should be made in the next 24 to 36 hours. So you have my prediction. I think it's gonna be Dan Lanning. Kind of hoping I'm wrong, but we'll see. I'll make a video as soon as I can after the announcement. But if I were you, I would stay off Twitter because you'll drive yourself insane, and just try to keep up with the verified sources, the ESPN, Bleacher Report, and just try to check in every once in a while. Eventually you'll get the notification. So y'all have a great rest of your day. We'll see if OSU can pull this out or if Baylor holds on, and I'll catch you in the next one. Boomer Sooner.